Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, let's talk former WBO heavyweight champ Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker had a couple of weeks ago a fight against Junior Fall. He won that fight pretty convincingly. Lackluster performance from both of the guys, to be honest. But hey, he won the fight, and it is what it is. Now, the other big news I didn't cover is Joseph Parker split with his trainer Kevin Barry, who trained him 8 years or more from young cat all the way up, took him to become a champion. You hate to see things like that happen, but it's also an issue of where they're based. Kevin Barry's based in Las Vegas. Joseph Parker wants to be in New Zealand with his his family and his 3 kids. He don't want to be that far away, but it is what it is. When you're looking at Kevin Barry, much props. I just think the man is a great man, period. I liked his vibe. I like their vibe. And I really not always win with when, guys leave their trainers. It happens in boxing a lot. But me being a trainer in basketball, you understand that trainers always get the fault. Very rarely do they get the credit for all of the things that are doing, but let something go wrong, anything, and the trainer or the coach is going to always be the scapegoat. So with that being said, I don't really ever like that, but at least this was gone. Both sides, amicable, right? Both sides decided that they needed to do this, and this was the time. So they did at least make it to the championship rounds, and who knows what will happen in the future with these guys. But I want to go to the pros and the cons of Joseph Parker letting Andy Lee, former champ Andy Lee, train him. Andy Lee is based in England, and he's going to be the trainer. Andy Lee trains, I'm trying to think off the head who he trains right now. It'll probably hit me. But Andy Lee has not been the trainer for long. He's only 36 years old, but he's a good guy. I think he's a pretty decent trainer. He's going to be a decent trainer. And the reason why is because, here's the pro. Andy Lee was trained a long time by the great Emanuel Stewart. If he was from Britain, he'd be Sir Emanuel Stewart. Okay? It's by the great Emanuel Stewart. So if you get that tutelage, and he wasn't just there for, like one fight or something. He was there a long time to where Emanuel Stewart was saying there's a very, very big bond. Emanuel Stewart even went as far as to say that his bond with Andy Lee was rivaled that, or it was even more so than Tommy Hearns. And most of us who are old enough to know that's Emanuel Stewart's claim to fame was Thomas Hearns, to be honest, before even the Lennox Lewis and Vladimir Klitschko stuff later in his career. So if he's been there, he's gathered a lot of knowledge. And like I said, Andy Lee also was a great fighter, very, very good fighter. So, with that being said, that's not bad, right? And then thinking about just doing it for one fight to see what happens, and if they gel, then it'll go further. Those are the pros. The cons, that my issues is, I didn't know this, but finding out that Andy Lee is the second cousin of Tyson Fury. Let me just say it like this. If you're a parent, right, and you got some kids and they get into those teenage ages, right, and then all of a sudden you start, telling them what kids you want to hang around with. No, you can't go visit him today. No, stay away from them, right? It's the same feeling. I roll with Joseph Parker. Like the guy, I think he's a good fighter, damn good heavyweight, right? I don't want him, and I know he's cool with Tyson Fury, but I don't want him around there too much. You never know what's about to go down there. And all the information, a lot of stuff going on with Tyson Fury. I don't want to just go into that. I'll probably do that in another video. But Tyson Fury has done a lot of stuff. I mean, for anybody, if you don't know, just Google Tyson Fury and anything, right? I can go into anything. It's a lot of stuff, from doping to just everything. A lot of things that you would probably not want your fighter around or your kid around. And that is the only issue, that he's going there because, matter of fact, not only is Andy Lee the second cousin of Tyson Fury, he's also was requested. Tyson Fury, gave him the tip, hey, better take Andy Lee's free, well, not really free, but, free enough, and go to him. So that is my only issue, because I don't want Joseph Parker in that environment, because there's a lot of stuff going on that, people who want to know. People who are blocking it out for different reasons are just blocking it out. But if you just have, Google things and pay attention to boxing a little bit, you probably don't want Joseph Parker around Tyson Fury is too much, right? Because Joseph Parker is Joseph Parker, Tyson Fury is, a different type of dude. But then again, opposites attract, and he's old enough, maybe he can handle that. But those are the pros and the cons. There's more, but those are the pros and the cons. It's good that he's going to probably somewhere Andy Lee and get trained, right? But he has a fight coming soon. It could be the beginning of May against Derek Chisora, and a new trainer going in against Derek Chisora with 6 weeks training camp. I don't know. That's going to be hard to do. But let's just remember something about Joseph Parker. Not just looking at that last fight. Joseph Parker has a lot of talents. He's not really one-dimensional. Joseph Parker can stay on the outside and jab if he has to, and that's probably what he's probably should do in this first fight back before he, goes in there and try to do something else against Derek Chisora. Let's see what happens going forward. It's not really good news, but it is the news. The pros, hey, you heard them, and the cons, hey, you heard them. So let's see. We're going to still roll with Joe, but let's see how this works out for him after the trainer change. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.